Hi, I'm Susmith Varkey Thomas, Operations Manager of Bengaluru Football Club. So today I'm going to quickly take you through which I believe are the most important 5 factors which I need to keep in mind for my role at the club. So before I give a quick introduction about myself, I want to give a simple objective of my job. It is to basically successfully complete any given task without compromising quality in the most cost-effective and time-bound manner. So after completing my MBA in sports management from the Real Madrid International School in Madrid, I got an opportunity to work at the All India Football Federation in Delhi in the national teams department. I started out working in the youth teams, basically planning and coordinating their entire activities. And during tournaments, I traveled with the team as a team manager. I've been lucky enough to see the likes of Udanta Singh, Anirudh Thapa, Dheeraj Singh from their very young ages, who now have become top players and playing in the highest level in our country. And in 2013, I was lucky enough and I got an opportunity to travel with the Indian national team as a team manager for a FIFA friendly match in Tajikistan. I still remember that was the first time Sandesh Jingan was called into the national team setup. Funny enough, it looks really long ago now, with one of the clubs even retiring his jersey. So in 2014, I moved to Bangalore and joined BFC. In fact, that was the time when BFC was the main talking point in the Indian football fraternity, when the club went on and won the league in the first season. So at the club, I kind of look after 3-4 main aspects, starting from club licensing, which is basically the blueprint on how to run a club. Proudly, I can say we are the only club in the country which has got both national and international license over the past 6 years. Second thing is ticketing. Basically the entire gamut of ticketing, from finding a partner or agency, where to sell tickets, deciding the pricing. Also making sure fans who come out to the stadium for match days, make sure the entire match day operation aspect of ticketing is also taken care. Third is the grassroots development in soccer schools, which is basically trying to get the game out to as many people as possible in the city. Then it's merchandising. Although there are many other generic and match day related activities which I look after. So now coming to the 5 factors which I need to keep in mind with respect to my job. I'm going to list them down and then have analogies with respect to my responsibilities at the club. First one's planning. To me, it has to be a data-driven approach, which will help us in setting realistic goals, knowing what our end consumer or customer needs. Because there's a lot of constant forecasting and adjusting of the process to optimize it. To quote an example from my work, I would say it would be for us in setting our pricing of our replica jerseys. For the first year, we had no partner, we had no sponsor, we had normal kits which was costing around $500-600. Second year, we had Puma on board, and we also went all gung-go and had a collar, had buttons to the replica. Then we realized it's not hitting the sweet spot. So then we had to adjust the price, getting on whatever data we should get from the ticketing as from the whatever customer facing side. And then we priced it such that the entire price of the jersey, including printing the name, shipping, everything, had to be within a limit. And that's when we realized that's the right spot for us. Second one is a standard operating procedure. It's imperative to have a standard operating procedure because it's nothing but a step-by-step process to carry out a difficult or a complex task. This SOP should ensure high quality output, maximum efficiency, and most importantly, it should have uniformity in performance. What I mean by that is, this process should be such that it can be repeated easily or even can be altered based on the conditions or even targets, because targets can keep changing, because our end goal is to continuously grow. So we need to have this process which will fit into everything and can be altered. To quote an example from my work, I would say is, for a soccer school, when we try and start a new soccer school or a new center, we have a standard checklist. We have standard checklists on what all we need in terms of infrastructure and things around the center. Secondly, we have a couple of financial models. So we try and put everything together and understand, all right, is this center going to be profitable or it's going to be self-sustainable in the next 6 to 8 months? If yes, and if everything sounds good, everything looks good, they're going to go ahead with it. So it's very important to have a standard operating procedure which will help us take decisions very quickly. So fact number 3 is technology and latest trends. It's important to know and be up to date with what are the latest technology and trends, but more importantly, you need to understand whether it can be incorporated into our system, considering the constraints like budget, available resources. So you know that, okay, that is the way I need to go, that's where the world is going, but you need to understand, do I have the budgets for it? Do I have the resources to ensure this is done the best way and we attain the best of the desired result? Example to quote would be last season, midway through the season, we finally introduced M-ticketing or e-ticketing, where a fan does not have to come and queue up at the box office anymore. So we had to negate all the situations which will arise by incorporating this system. Basically, we need to cover re-entry. How do I manage re-entry, considering most of the bathrooms and refreshments are outside the stadium, outside the gate, I mean. So we had obviously need to have basic internet with so many people coming in. So we had to understand all that situation. Then we finally decided, okay, we can combat all these. And then we decided to finally introduce a system which is, I'm sure, improve the whole experience of a fan coming to the stadium and watching a game. Point number 4, I'm going to call it people power or human capital, because to me it's the most important thing in workplace. You need to understand people and work towards their strengths. I personally believe in leading more than managing, and always when you have a problem, always ask why. Never get in the space of who. If you do that, you're going to lose your team straight away. And also, you need to understand, you need to develop people and ensure they maximize their potential. Because once they see there is growth in themselves, they're going to keep doing their best and keep wanting to improve. Communication plays a very important role in this. When there's a problem, you need to always communicate the importance of the problem in the entire exercise. If a person who can help you understands the importance of it, he's going to do it as quick as he can. So I think you need to manage people the best, and you need to always communicate the best way possible. So quoting an example about people power. So during the recent lockdown, we wanted to shoot videos and put it out on our social platforms, especially for our soccer school kids, because we wanted to keep them engaged at home and do some kind of activity related to football at home. So then we decided to shoot the videos at our academy in Bellary, where our coaches and staff over there were doing their bit. Then they should send it across to Bangalore, and our media team were not experts at handling videos, cutting, rendering and all that. So they decided they should do their best and put it out. But however, we're missing out timelines, we're missing out deadlines continuously. So then we decided, how can we solve it? We don't have the option of going externally and finding a solution. Then we decided to involve our analysis team, basically work for the first and B team. For them, video editing and rendering all is part of their regular jobs. So then we had to communicate to them how important they could be for solving this issue. And once they understood that, they kind of did it as easy as we can. They found solutions to us in 30-40 minutes, which we were normally taking around 4 to 5 hours. So what I want to reiterate is that people are your power, and you need to always work towards their strengths. And now coming to the 5th factor and the bottom line, which is return on investments or profitability. Whatever you do, we need to ensure there's max efficiency and it's done in the most cost-effective manner so it can be sustained over a period of time. All these things need to be done in a space called professional ethics, which I believe is the minimum expected from a human being, which is to basically do whatever you do honestly and transparently. Now, I've been working in this club for almost 6 years now. Most people relate job and sport to dream and passion, but especially over the last 2 years, I think I've come above it, and I call it working for God, which basically means you got to do what you got to do and be humble and patient about it. To finish off, there's no exaggeration to say everything depends on operations. Thank you.